Welcome. BitmonkeyTV, episode 117. Damn. Today we have another episode of Tech Tip Tuesday, where we talk everything tech, Web3, crypto, NFTs. Any questions you got, we try to answer them. Moving forward, as you've noticed, we stick to a specific topic on these days. It's less of a whimsical Wing It Wednesday. So today we're going to get straight into it. We got a ton of tutorials, step by step. One of my personal favorites, which is this Apricorn USB encrypted device, right? Setting up a virtual version of Ubuntu, which is a Linux-based operating system. And then we're going to teach you how to operate offline, as well as setting up VirtualBox within Windows, any Windows-based operating system. And then we're going to set this up from scratch, right? Open it live. Step by step. I'm going to try to walk everybody through all the processes that I normally take when I choose this type of method, right? It's not one all be all. It's not what I only use. I use hardware wallets. I use this. I use hot wallets. I use them all. Got to test them all, right? Got to learn how everything works. So if you have any questions along the way, I encourage you to drop a little note. Let's just play off the comments real quick. What's up, Jonathan? Yeah. Evening. Good evening. Yes. Good evening. Good morning. Good afternoon. No matter where you're tuning in from, really appreciate you. Good morning. Good morning, Gary, Dream Joker, aka Alpha Lord. Do you have any alpha for us? Feel free to drop it during the live stream. Today we're playing with a new camera angle. Let me know if you can or can't hear anything throughout the way. I did my best to prep this one so there's less squirrels. However, I didn't pre-install things because I wanted to walk you through step by step. So we're going to do it together. I haven't set up a VirtualBox on this machine yet. VirtualBox is a free piece of software provided from Oracle. You can call it a competitor to VMware Workstation, but the pro version's paid. Not everybody wants to pay, so that's why I chose VirtualBox for the sake of this tutorial. It's something I used for countless years. It's great just to create dummy operating systems to test things within it. So without squirrel ado, let's get straight into it. So today we're going to be focusing on, let me just preface this, how to set up Ubuntu within VirtualBox, how to download and install Ubuntu, how to download and install VirtualBox, how to load an offline version of myetherwallet.com within that virtual operating system, how to create an offline key store data file, right? This is going to be one method of cold storage that we're going to be providing that tutorial on today. And then how to set up two separate partitions on this. Little lovely trick, right? You can essentially format this two ways. You can do it more than two ways, but what I like to do is pick one partition as an NTFS, which essentially means that any Linux, Mac, or Windows-based machine can read it. And then we're going to set up another ext4, I believe, partition, which only Linux-based operating systems and I believe Mac OS X can read it as well. But that one's going to have a further, an extra layer of encryption. So on top of the number pad to get into the device, we're going to leave an unlocked partition and then a further locked partition, added layer of security. There is a caveat to that, and we'll talk about it as we're walking through the tutorial. So without squirrel ado, gotta love this new camera angle. Look at this. If only you saw what it's set up on. It's really funny. It's set up on a GoPro because it's a webcam that didn't have the mount. So I just tilted it on top of the GoPro and let's get straight into it. So anytime you're ordering one of these, I always recommend going straight to the manufacturer. Amazon is safe enough, right? Because Apricorn sells these devices through an Amazon portal, so to speak. So they actually ship it from their facility, right? From their shipping warehouse. So let's get straight into it. Always want to cut it. And this box, like this label, you can just tell it's not cheap. It's not cheap whatsoever. So this is what it looks like when you unbox this. Lovely little manual here. And this is what you see here. And if you're not aware, we ran a giveaway for one of these before I took off to Portugal from the States. And we'll be running more giveaways down the road. Lovely little casing here. Interesting. So with anything, I hate reading manuals, but we're not going to read through the whole thing, but I don't set these up often. So let me just double check I know how to do this. Jeez, one of these, eh? Cool. So first time use admin mode setup. To set up admin pin, you want to press the green unlock button +9 simultaneously. The LEDs will be constant blue and blinking green. Enter the new admin pin, press the unlock. If accepted, the blue LED will turn off. The green LED will blink 3 times and then will return to solid blue and blinking green. That's where you re-enter the admin pin that you just configured and press the unlock key, the green button, one more time. And if accepted, that green LED will glow solidly for 3 seconds. The blue LED will glow solidly, indicating the drive is in admin mode and will remain that way for 30 seconds or until the lock key, the red lock key, is pressed, either of which will return the drive to its standby locked state. The admin pin is now set. All right, I'm not going to get to that part yet, but since I want to actually use this, I'm not going to show anybody what I'm doing here. Oh, I already made a new move, so I didn't press both at the same time. So unlock in 9. Bam. I see the green link. Blink 3 times. All right, let's get straight into it. All right, success. So let's enter it in again here. Great success. Awesome. And that's all set. So now it's locked. Let's test it. I can get back to it. So you want to press unlock to unlock, put in your super secret PIN. Hit unlock, and then you'll see it starts blinking green. Let me bring this camera back up. You can kind of see, yeah, unlocked. Now, probably should have waited to do this, but it's okay. We're going to run through it. So let's go ahead and set up VirtualBox. We're going to set up. Now, this is a tutorial strictly on Windows. That's the machine I'm operating off for this stream. But by popular demand, we can do a Mac OS X installation down the road. But for the sake of being efficient today with what I have on the script, we're going to run it through with Windows. Let's just check back the comments. I see some new faces here. I love it. I love that you love it. Hey, it works, right? What's up, PR, aka Gilberto? How you doing today, man? Hey, Amanda, thanks for joining us. So if you missed it, we're doing a whole bunch of step-by-step tutorials. You can check the description. Let me know if you want me to explain what we're doing. But we just unboxed one of these Apricorn USB encrypted USB sticks, and we set it up. Pretty easy to set up out the gate. You can set up multiple pins, right? You can set up the admin pin and then, multiple various other pins. But if you're the only user on this device, I feel like setting up 2 separate pins, just too much to keep track of. Just do the one. However, you're free to do more than one if you'd like. And if you want me to do it for the sake of the tutorial, just let me know. I can. But we're going to rock it with how I normally set things up. All right. I love it. So first thing you always want to do is download the Ubuntu first and foremost. It's a big download, right? So chances are you can't follow along step by step. I've already pre-downloaded this part, but you always want to go with the latest version, the LTS. It provides the biggest time frame of support from Ubuntu, right? This is a free piece of software. But as you can see, 3 minutes, we don't need to do that. I'm going to cancel because I already downloaded it. I did prep to an extent. VirtualBox.org is where we'll get that freeware for the, it's an equivalent of VMware Workstation Pro, but it's free. So for the sake of the demo, I don't want to have everybody here purchase for software they're only going to use once or twice. Just hit this blue button. Oh, you got love to see that. That must be my internet here. Interesting. Well, luckily I already pre-downloaded this one too, but I wanted to run through for the sake of the tutorial and show you the website. So first thing we want to do is we want to run this one as an administrator, that download. And when you run it as an administrator, Windows is going to prompt you, are you sure? You just click yes. Follow along. This is pretty straightforward. You do not want to change any settings here. We want the networking options so that we can disable the networking options manually, so I can show you that process. Keep everything checked. Now it'll automatically add shortcuts to your desktop and start menu. If you're a stickler about that, just go ahead and uncheck those boxes. And you can see here, this for the Mac OS X, if that's what you're running on. And for the most part, this tutorial should work across both because the application itself should be almost identical between the two. So hopefully you can see this here. I know my resolution on this monitor is freaking huge. So let me know if you can see the screen just fine. If not, I can change the resolution real quick and it should make everything appear larger. Yeah, so this stuff is more, there's some tutorials to deploy a version of Ubuntu, which is a Linux-based operating system within this VirtualBox, right? And we're going to configure it in such a way so that that VirtualBox is offline, never touches the internet as we're installing a fresh version of Ubuntu. And then from there, that's where you plug in this Apricorn USB device. We're going to teach you how to create an offline key store wallet, right? Cold storage solution. So it's an equivalent to using a hardware wallet, but without confirming on the hardware before sending digital assets. Just a whole nother method here. So with here, we want to add, hit this green cross looking thing, hit desktop. Oh, sorry about that. That's only if there's already a virtual machine file ready to go. So we actually want to create a new one here. It's been a minute since I've done this, so forgive me. Now, I'm going to preface here. We're going to go back. Squirrel, ideally, I don't personally use this solution to create offline key store or offline seed phrase wallets, right? I will dedicate a whole nother physical piece of hardware that I install a fresh version of Ubuntu, and it has never touched the internet. I'll generally disable or disconnect physically the network adapter so that I know peace of mind that that machine, once I've installed this new operating system on a formatted hard drive, has never touched the internet and can never touch the internet. However, not everybody has an extra laptop laying around or an extra desktop laying around for that purpose. So this solution is a great workaround if you only have one device, but you want to create offline wallets via key store or seed phrase from myetherwallet.com. This is a great alternative to do it. So without squirrel ado. So we're just going to call this air gap because I like to call them air gap machines. And we want to just select other, and we're going to hit other 64. Let's actually check if, no, they don't have, just do other 64 and hit next. Do want to dedicate a little bit of memory, so I'm going to do 2 gigs here. And we want to create a new virtual disk. Keep this all default, right? If you're setting this up for the first time, default here. Now, this is something like if you ever plan on moving this to a VMware Workstation Pro, you would want to select VMDK. But since we're just using this free piece of hardware, we're just going to keep it at VDI. It's a proprietary file extension from Oracle. So if you were to try to open this VDI file within a VMware Workstation Pro, it wouldn't work. We want to do it dynamically allocated, and we're going to give it 20 gigs of space. It should be more than enough. We're going to hit create. Now, before we start it up, I want to go into settings, and bear with me here. You want to go to system, uncheck the floppy, because who the fuck uses a floppy anymore? Optical, we don't need it. We're not entering in a disk. I don't even have a disk reader on this machine. And we can leave everything else default here. Let's go hit display. Everything seems okay. Since this is very, very basic, leave everything default. But the network adapter, this is where we want to uncheck the network adapter. Make sure adapter 2, 3, and 4 also are unchecked. We're good. So this is going to have no capabilities to touch the internet. We're going to hit OK. Now, I forgot to do one other thing. Let's go over to storage. And I made a boo-boo. So we do want the optical. It's a virtual optical device. Hit OK, go back in. And we want to hit that virtual device. And we're going to choose a disk file. And it's going to be that downloaded version of Ubuntu right here. Hit OK. And we're going to start this machine and see what happens. So, yes, I do. More than enough. I definitely put way too much there, but. And this is what you're going to see here. You have the auto capture keyboard. So with any given virtual, what's this? Alt tab, right? Yeah, Alt tab. Like VMware Workstation, I believe, is Control Alt. This one's Alt tab. So sometimes, right, as you're operating within this, virtual node, so to speak, it's just giving you a whole bunch of warnings. So we're going to capture the keyboard and mice within here. If you want to move the keyboard and mice back to your host machine where you're setting all this up on, you just hit Alt tab and it's going to disconnect and allow you to move your mouse across the whole machine, right? Rather than being locked in the terminal. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Alt enter, Alt tab, Alt shift enter. It's been a while since I've operated in this one. Let's just wait here a moment. So you can see how we saw the Ubuntu splash, right? The logo. So it's loading off of that downloaded. Ooh, can you guys hear that? Fucking loud. So we don't want to try. I mean, this is a great alternative if you just want to boot off of a live USB, and that could be another tutorial for Tech Tip. But we want to teach you how to install Ubuntu so that you can save this virtual machine state and go back into it anytime you want to create more cold storage wallets. Just want to hit install, leave everything default. Never want to go and change things. If you don't know what you're doing, just hit next. In most cases, default is the way to go. Now, we don't need all this extra stuff. We just want the web browser and basic utilities here. And you may be wondering, why do we want a web browser? All right, well, we're going to be downloading an offline version of myetherwallet.com. So we need a web browser to view it, right? But we don't need anything else. Hit install, and we want to make sure you erase that disk and install Ubuntu. Don't bother going into advanced. You won't need to. Hit continue. This is all pretty basic default stuff. Set your time zone if you want. I'm going to pick Los Angeles for the sake of Pacific Standard time zones. It's going to help you personalize things along the way. I'm going to call this air gap. And we're just going to do password 123, all lowercase, password 123, all lowercase. You do not have to lock this, right? You don't. Unless, of course, you're going to store things within it. The less you store, we're using this as a window, right? We're just using this as a tool, a utility, so don't get too complicated within this virtual machine. And hopefully this should be rather quick. Let's go play out the comments real quick. What's good? Yeah, man. I mean, chances are, I'm guessing you're watching this off your phone. I wonder if there's a solution on the phone. I try to avoid mobile at all costs, right? Mobile is generally less secure in general. especially with all the public Wi-Fis that we're tempted to connect to. If you do connect to public Wi-Fis, I highly encourage you to download a VPN service. Malwarebytes and Proton Mail or Proton Mail solution are two of the best out there. Proton does offer a free one, but it's limited. Malwarebytes is paid only, from what I understand, but wouldn't hurt to invest a little bit in security in a VPN solution if you're constantly connecting to public Wi-Fis. And as a reminder, I love the viewer count. I don't see too many people typing, but if you're here for the POAP, you got to interact, right? Because if I give you some instructions at the end of the episode and you request a POAP, but I didn't see you make a comment, you will not get airdropped a POAP. And everybody, thanks for your patience from last Tuesday. Right after this stream, I will be manually inputting your addresses, everyone who participated in the Discord after the giveaway, of course. So you should see the POAP from episode 116 by the end of today. I love it. Hey, I appreciate you for being here. What's up? Hope you're doing well. Love the Rasta colored hearts. What's up, Zen? Dude, so any questions? Was this pretty straightforward so far? Right? We've haven't done anything too complicated. And I know I've probably gone a little quicker than I should have. I need to download some type of solution where it allows me to highlight my screen as I'm doing these step-by-step tutorials. But as you've learned, we do it live around here. So we roll with the punches. We get better each time. And this is the first time with this set. Hey, looking for VFriends merch. All right, let's talk about this. What the actual fuck, Gary? So I didn't realize it, but they blocked international IPs for a few minutes. I couldn't even open up VFriends, and I didn't think to turn on my VPN service to make it look like I was in LA or California, in the United States for that matter, because it was a US only drop for the VFriends merch. I was very saddened. I went through the process. The medium, very, very lucky Black Cat hoodies were available when I went through it. And then I get to the very end, out of stock. Sad day. But I did end up with the genuine. That was my favorite graphic out of all of them. Yeah, I get it. The motivated monster is a very rare character, but it was a very low effort scribe on the shirt, very low effort. I loved how they incorporated the giraffe texture within the genuine, right? So got two hoodies there. I mean, possibly. I cannot confirm nor deny this, but there is another operating system called Tails, which you can deploy on a USB stick, and you can literally plug it into any machine with a USB port, reboot it, boot off of that disk, and you're in your own operating system. It's very limited, very basic, but very, very secure. It essentially creates an entirely new, unique ID. So every time you reboot it, you reload it, you're an entirely new person on the internet. So maybe by popular demand, we can do a tutorial on Tails OS if anybody's interested here. Anybody have success in their VFriends merch though today? I'm curious. All right, installation is complete. You will need to restart this computer in order to use the new workstation. So we're gonna hit reboot, and we're gonna make sure to hit close as well. So we're gonna save the state. One thing I forgot to do was there's two methods of attaching that download of Ubuntu, right? You can either attach it to the virtual machine itself, or you just boot from it after you open the virtual machine. I just want to make sure it's not going to try to load it back here. Oh, that's because it's a paused state. So let's actually go back in it. Let's just hope it doesn't boot from that CD again. Get it, got it, get it, got it. Okay. We're just gonna go check input devices, optical, and good. It is not booting from it. So we should be okay. Oh, nice. Well, I had things shipped to the States there, so I was able to successfully complete the order, but the very, very lucky black cat didn't get anything. No. So if you're using an air-gapped computer, you can follow the install from Ubuntu, right? You would essentially have to, now that should be a tutorial for another day, but I would use something like Rufus, which is a freeware piece of software. Let's say you're downloading everything on Windows, prepping everything. You download Rufus, you plug in a blank USB stick or a blank, you know, if you still have a DVD RW, a blank disk. You download Ubuntu, you then write that image of Ubuntu, you make it bootable on that USB or that disk. And then you put that USB or disk in that air-gapped machine, power it up, and then boot from the CD or the USB stick. And you'll get to this point where we were installing Ubuntu, and then you can continue to follow along. But some of these steps are going to be a little different. So maybe we actually do a walkthrough on that. And I would probably have to use a separate camera angle for you to watch everything on screen. Since it's an air-gapped machine, it wouldn't have access to connect to the stream, for example. Hope that answers it, Gary. Ah. Does he have a very, very lucky black cat? I'll trade. Hey. Yeah, and you know, this is just a solution so you understand how things work. I'm on a budget, but bought some for a friend who wanted more than two. You're a good friend. Good stuff. I love it. Full transparency, I did the same. I did the same. And I cannot wait to share what I'm going to do with the extras. The theme of what we do around here is give. So stay tuned. That's all I can say. Next month when I'm back in the States. Got to give a moment. We can actually, now that I'm done unboxing, we can remove that camera angle there. Yeah, I cringed paying $100 for a damn hoodie. This better be some good quality hoodies. Like, I hope so. We shall see. And usually it does not take this long. Let's see what's going on here. Let's just give it a moment. Well, yeah, I did too. I mean, me too. And I did. Like, so you're not alone there, my friend. You are not alone there. I cringed. 400 bucks on hoodies today. Sheesh. Cool. All right, so it shouldn't take this long. So I'm gonna be very, very impatient here. I'm gonna shut down the machine. I wanna go into settings and make sure I remove, okay, it already removed it for me. So that's good. So let's go back into it. Maybe it was literally about to load as I was doing this, so. Hey, BitMonkey hoodie's coming sooner than you think. Ah, there's still double XL hoodies? Yeah, I mean, that would be too large for me. I feel like medium might be too large for me. Believe it or not, I rock a small in most all apparel. Just a little shocking, right? Unless there's something up with the resolution. Oh, we're good. We're good. I was just being impatient. This is what happens when you're impatient. Patience pays. So, after waiting a little bit, we now have this splash screen to log into. So I'm going to enter in that super secret password of password 123. And I guess I have to be a little more patient. So this wants to set up live patch. No, I do not. You're not going to work. No, don't send info. I do not care. No location services. It wouldn't work even if you checked it. Because as you remember, we didn't set up a network adapter on this device. All right. So now in the meantime, now that we know that's all set up, we can minimize and we can keep the virtual machine open depending on how powerful the machine is that you're operating on. Sometimes you'll have to turn it off in order to go back and operate off of your host, especially if you allocated too many resources. Next step is go to myetherwallet.com. You want to scroll all the way to the bottom, and there should be, at least there used to be. All right, go to Help Center. They didn't make it that easy to find this time. I do have a link prepped for it, but for the sake of the tutorial, if you're following along, just search offline within the Help Center, and you're going to see the second option down, using MEW offline, in parentheses, cold storage. Please note, MEW offline is only available on version 5 of our website. If you'd like to use this feature, please visit the older version of the website at the following link. I'm glad we walked through this. Onwards. Got it. Bam, bam, bam. They still don't have it on this one, eh? So let's go back to the Help Center. Kind of looks a little different, huh? We're going to do the same thing here. Type in offline. You're going to see this populate here. Oh, come on. Guess it takes us to the new one either way, eh? All right, so you didn't have to do that. You just want to scroll all the way down. Keep scrolling. So this tutorial on this website here, it teaches you how to send offline transactions. We're not going to do that on this episode. We're just showing you how to create wallets, verify they're working, send a little bit of ETH to it, send a digital asset to it, and then operate within that virtual node. So scroll all the way down until you find the section downloading and running MEW offline. In order to set up your local MEW, start by downloading. You'll see this hyperlink here. It's going to take you to their GitHub. You just want to download the latest version as a zip file. We're going to show in folder here. Give it a moment. Whoops. Come on. Too many functions on these keyboards, I'm telling you. So this is the one here. What we're going to do now is we're going to go back to that Apricorn device. And let me run back to the comments real quick, just in case I'm missing out on some important questions. Panda, patient panda. Let's hear it. What'd you get? What'd you cop? It's like the merch. Jono, is the merch like a decent brand? We don't know, right? We do not know. Like I might be keen, but if it's the Fruit of the Loom or something that costs 40 cents to manufacture, and I'm not joking, might give it a miss. Yeah, I know you're not joking, and I couldn't agree more. Hopefully it's a high quality brand. So we want to unlock this device. And that's unlocked. Plug it in here. You may be asking yourself, wait, he's plugging it into the host. How do we carry this over? Well, first and foremost, we want to plug it in. We need to use this as a method. There is a way to create a bridged virtual drive between the two machines, but I want to walk you through a multiple step tutorial here on how to copy things over via USB stick, since we're using this stick. So I want to cut this whole thing, and I'm going to paste it inside of this secure key. We're going to eventually format this, so don't worry about these user agreements and these manuals. They will disappear. Now that we know it's on there, let's go to that virtual machine. And up here on input devices, forgive me, go over to USB, and we want to navigate to that Apricorn secure key. And you're going to notice it's going to prompt you within this virtual node. So we're essentially pushing it to that virtual machine, and the virtual machine's taking over as its operator, right? So you're not going to see it on your local host any longer. It's going to disconnect itself. And nothing's popping up. So this is a great, oh shit. We're going to have to do that, aren't we? All right. So we want to type in disk. Go to disks. I think we're going to have to format this thing beforehand. Oh, it didn't even pop up, eh? Interesting. That's the only thing with these encrypted devices. They're a little annoying if you have to keep entering it in if you're making mistakes. So bear with me here. Unlock. Unlock it. Green. Oh, didn't it just trigger? So here I am being impatient again. It did pop down saying, hey, would you like to connect this to this machine? And son of a bitch. So full transparency, I haven't tried plugging one of these in through a virtual node like this. So we're troubleshooting this together. All right. Let's wait for it. Come on. It's doing it every time, eh? This is interesting. We're going to use our good friend Google here and figure out what is going on. Can I copy this? Come on, you got to let me copy this. All right. So I've been talking to myself, huh? I just like the high quality hoodies for the comfort. Fell in love with my character, so I wanted to have it. Not really a flex since nobody I know even knew what a VFriend was. They will, though. Yes, they will. Yep. I think we're back, right? Let me know if you can hear me. So when I was toggling the USBs, I took over the Scarlett Focusrite USB device that's running these mics and this headset. And I remember hearing something off there, so appreciate it. So I'm going to try a few other things here, but we might have to just plug in a dummy USB that's not encrypted for the sake of progressing through this step-by-step instruction. Chances are there's something going on with this device, not to say it's bad, but a security feature that won't allow it to connect to an environment like this. But I would have to confirm before I say that, because I don't want to misspeak. All right, come on. Let's get it. Come on, I just want you to carry over. Just carry over. Do it. Do it. Come on. All right. Wish I had VMware Workstation Pro installed to see if this is a VirtualBox issue. Keep in mind, free software is never perfect. When you're using freeware, there's always going to be some type of issue, especially with newer devices, because they don't plan for for these devices to operate within it, right? These are meant to be deployed as test environments, or maybe you're restoring an old backup, or maybe you're converting a physical to a virtual. This is a great piece of software allowing you to do that and then get rid of your old hardware. And then you can have your virtual disk file Well, that's my bad. Oh, that's my bad. So, yep. Everyone been talking. I appreciate you. My bad. Yep. Hey. I'm back. That's my bad. Wait, I was technical difficulties. Wouldn't be BitmonkeyTV without him. So let me deploy everything. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for holding down the fort. All right. So I was talking to myself. I did find out that this was an issue within VirtualBox. So we have to deploy an extension pack, which is think of it like a patch, an update for the software. So it's nothing we did, which is great news. So let's shut down the virtual machine. Crazy that's not letting me visit that website. What's going on here? I'll make sure I get everybody a direct download link as well. Hey Sven, how you doing today, man? Thanks for bearing with the technical difficulties there. Everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Hair not on fire. Whew. Oh, Oracle, you're fucking up. I'm gonna have to do a whole nother demo for for VMware Workstation Pro. It's gonna have to go down this way. This is the extension pack I am getting here. This should do it. And we're just gonna throw that on the desktop. Close that out. So in order to deploy it, you want to hit File, Preferences, and there should be an update option, Extensions. Hit plus, add it, grab that extension pack, and confirm what it's going to do. It's going to add USB 2.0, 3.0 host controller DOI. I should have noticed that when we were looking in there. All right, without squirrel ado. So now should be able to boot up this operating system one more time. We're going to give it a go. Fun stuff. Yeah? Do I still have everybody? I hope so. Rice, search, sand, house, find, seal, rain, walk, quite, youth, hospital, flip. Is this a seed phrase? Is this a seed phrase? I need to give you a little something, something. Never, ever give out your seed phrase. Come on, man. What are you doing? So I was chatting away to myself until it realized, oh shit. Oh, good stuff. You can hear me, right? I hope so. So for anybody doing multi-screen, I did have to move the window to my main screen and then back. Must be a GUI issue. And when I say GUI, graphic user interface, GUI. Loud and clear. All right, all right. All right. So that was a nice little 20-minute detour. Shit. We're going to go back to the point where we're unlocking this thing. And we're plugging it in. to the host that's controlling this. And then from here, we're going to see the option to attach that Apricorn. You son of a bitch. What's going on? Let's roll out the USB real quick. Let's try plugging this one in. Same thing, eh? Interesting. Very, very interesting. Extensions there. We have the right version. We do. Let's just close this out altogether, reopen it. I'm going to run it as an administrator this time. See if that makes any type of difference. And let's make sure the device manager is all gravy. No exclamations. Let's go double check the settings here. USB. And we had to move it over. We're going to hit USB 3.0 controller here. Hit OK. Hit next. And we start up that air gap machine. All right, back at it. So usually things are backwards compatible. So let's run the 2.0 controller and see what happens here. Hit OK. Start it. Nope. Version mismatch, eh? I do see I did download a newer version of the extension pack. Let's try to go to the older one here. One that's referenced in this fix here. So it's 6. And I should probably show this to everyone, eh? I want to just go up to the top extension pack here. That should do the trick. I'm going to remove that old one, or I guess that newer one. And let's just wait for... Oh, I should have downloaded by now, no? It's there. Oh, duh. Of course, we read through that very carefully every time we do it. Interesting. Let's try the other one. Shit. Cool. Very cool. Two, eh? going to download this one more time. Let's give it the latest version. Which one were we on? 6.1.32. I want to go to 6.1. Let's try this one as well. Fun stuff. All right. Let's go back to the new one since we know it worked. And if this doesn't, okay, there we go. Finally. So we got to go with the latest version, eh? That's fun. Use the 2.0 on that. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, there's a version mismatch. Let me just go to this is the life of IT. Something doesn't work, go to their forums, figure out what's going on. All right, let's go download the latest one. Yes, yes. Got a whole bunch of patient pandas here. I tip my hat off to you. I would have X'd out by now. I'm like, fuck this. I'm out. Peace. Cool. Yes. Yes. And let's close it out just for safe measures. Good practice. Let's reopen it. Yep. Thanks for bearing with me. Love it. Couldn't agree more. So before I start tapping on that thing again, let's just try to see how it detects a different name for that Samsung. So chances are now the proper drivers are installed so it can read USB devices that are 2.0 and 3.0. Yeah, I can see it in the preview. There it is. And let's go to disk. We should see that USB detected now. Again. Oh, it's busy with the previous request. Did I lose everybody here? Hey, hey. Oh, what did I say? What did I say? Did I cuss too much? My bad. I need to develop some type of filter. Let's close this out, power this off. It's pending for some reason. And we restart it. Oh, you can't see my screen anymore, eh? And music. There we go. Keep changes. Tons of issues, eh? We're just gonna try this. Oh, that's my bad. Here I am being impatient. Pops up. Hey, Samsung. Will at least allow me to. Maybe it's something related to this. So with any given virtual host, it'll generally come with like a guest CD for drivers and things like that. Probably should have done this out the gate. Go ahead and install that. All right. Restart. So I'm going to shut it down really quickly because I want to check something else in settings. See if we can hit that 3.0 controller again. And we're going to remove this because we shouldn't need any of these filters. All right, good sign so far. Doing my best, man. You know, can't complain. That's for sure. Loving it over here. Is it very blurry? What's up, Moody Booty? Yeah, I did toggle a USB device that was, oh, it looks like mine. This camera is probably just not having it right now. Can you mean not being a patient panda right now, huh? Come on. It's the USB driver for the virtual machine software. It's all errors directly correlated to Oracle's VirtualBox than it is Ubuntu. So we're getting new errors each time. This is so fun. Do not miss this industry. It's the reason I retired from it. Just became repetitive. We'll figure it out. Might be here a while, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, if you're just using an air-gapped computer, you would not run into this at all. We would have already been done with this tutorial, all set. Like, we would have been done, ended episode, POAP's distributed. And now my USB stream is just fucking up. Wonder if I should deploy one on I have an extra laptop with me and we can literally make it happen right now. Yeah, what we might have to just do, I think I'm going to make an executive decision here because I'd love to keep running through it, but this thing's going to end up being like 2-3 hours long. So for the sake of the tutorial, let's go ahead and load an offline version of my Ether wallet. Now I know that I'm streaming. I know I'm online here. But Oracle VirtualBox, you failed me today. So we're going to change the direction of today's show. Sadi, unless everyone wants to stick around, we can figure it out together. But I would hate to make everybody sit here and wait and listen to this lo-fi music when we can at least proceed. Damn, that changes a lot of what we were focused on today, eh? Lesson learned. This is why we do it live. We improve with each episode. Moving forward with such a packed episode with all these tutorials I had in mind, I should not have shoot off the hip, should have prepped them ahead of time, made sure that things worked in this environment, and then gone on with the live stream. So this is my bad. I take full responsibility for this one. We're going to do a 2.0 of today's episode. We're going to do a 2.0. We're going to kickstart this fucking tutorial one more time. Who knows? Maybe next Tuesday, although I'm due to be in Lisbon at the or at a satellite event for the non-fungible conference that's going down the 4th and the 5th, which is Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, I know, but for the sake of just being efficient, we'll reboot this episode. I'll test these tutorials step by step in this environment before I plan them again. So forgive me, appreciate your understanding, but let's at least do the offline version here. So what we want to do is show that, did I already move it? I did, didn't I? I did. I moved it to this. So let's go back to GitHub. Let's download this latest version. Show in folder. So what we want to do is extract this. Depending on your operating system, you should know how to extract a zip file by now, I would imagine. You should ask. My little cousin loves Silicon Valley. I'd play some right now, but there'd be some copyright issues. So I eat the fish. What about garbage? Or wait, You should tell the joke, Moody. We got to have you on the show sometime. So when you extract that version of My Ether wallet, this is essentially like the root of a domain, right? You'll generally find these files if you visit myetherwallet.com and view the source code. And if you look on it on, a file, like let's say an FTP viewer, you're going to see all these same files. Don't get confused. Don't get intimidated. What you want to do is find that index.html. The way you can tell is you should see your default browser icon next to the index. There's going to be two indexes, right? There's a style sheet, and then there's that HTML. Just go ahead and open that HTML. You want to hit Brave. That's my primary. What you're going to notice here is myetherwallet.com will load. Hey, Pied Piper. He knows Greek knows what we're talking about here. Love it. So don't allow. Wouldn't work anyway. As you can see here, though, the domain, it's not on myetherwallet.com. It's coming from the file located in your C drive, right? If you're operating off of Windows, this is how it will look very similarly. And then your username downloads wherever it's located, essentially. And this is where you can go and create a new wallet. Now, I'm going to go to software. I wanted, for the sake of finishing the tutorial, here's a demo of creating a key store file offline. Now let's pretend that you can't see my screen. Let's pretend that we're operating in an air-gapped environment on a machine that has never touched the internet. If you're just tuning in with us, we're going to reboot this episode. I'm going to test every tutorial before I go live again. Lesson learned. Now, an old hair of the dog. I think I'm using this term right. Probably not, because I think the term is for when you're hungover or something like that. Hair of the dog is a term used like a little trick to cure your hangover, right? But I'm using it in the sense of encryption and security, right? So when you create a password for a key store file, if I were to just type in password here, well, the JSON file that this will create will be easier to decrypt if somebody gains access to it. So you generally want to create, the more complicated your password, the more complicated the encryption on the key store file is. So I always try to get as complicated as I can, but for the sake of the demo, what we're going to do is we're just going to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're also going to do 11 and 12. As you can tell, I picked 12 separate words, no spaces. I capitalized the beginning of each word. You can add in special characters. You should add in special characters. I want to confirm what this does is it makes that file that much more difficult to decrypt, right? To hack through, so to speak. The more complicated, the better. I haven't found a key limit yet, but it has to be a minimum of 8 characters. The reason I wanted to show you this method is you could, in theory, take a seed phrase or create your own seed phrase, add your own beginning and ending to each word. Like let's say with each one, you add a shift 1, shift 2, shift 3, shift 4, shift 5, shift 6, shift 7, shift 8, shift 9, shift 0, and then we're going to do minus, plus. What this does is it adds a special character at the end of each word, right? Please don't use this fucking password, all right? It's too simple. But this is a very, very difficult password to not only guess, but any key, like any brute force tool that tries to guess and decrypt that JSON file, it's going to have a tough time with this, right? Because it has to incorporate all these different variations. But I have a feeling after running for a couple of days, it'll crack something like this because we used simple words, right? But I wanted to walk through that because the more complicated you make that password, the more complicated it will be if this is compromised, right? Let's say your USB stick does get compromised. And a hacker gets access to your key store file. The more difficult you make that password, the more difficult it's going to be for them to access. Acknowledge and download. So you were done. So what it's going to do is it's going to take this file here and we're just going to save it onto the desktop. And now we want to access that wallet. And we go back down to software. Now, keep in mind, we're still in an offline version of my Ether wallet. So had we been doing this tutorial, had I been successful with VirtualBox, we would be operating in a machine that has never touched the internet, right? That's the whole purpose of creating it through this method. Want to access it via key store. We want to select that file we just saved, and we want to enter in that super complicated password. I just copy pasted. And voila, we're in. So right now, in theory, if I wanted to send stuff to this, go check this public address. Whoops, that's not it. There. There we go. Did I expose any private information? Should I send something to it? Let's send something to it. I didn't. I just exposed the password, but you don't have access to the key store file. So that's why you would use this method, because you need the two to access it. You need the key store, that file you just saved that we would normally put on here and make a copy of. Even though you see my password, right? That's not a seed phrase. So if you were to try to go to restore this password or seed phrase, you wouldn't get access to it because you need this key store file. And we're just going to send a little something, a little bit to it. Let's make sure this is the right address. A39 ending in A9C. 8396 7A9C. We're good. We're good. A little trick here. You see this wallet address here? So if you actually go look at that key store file that you just downloaded, you're going to see that it ends essentially in the address. So it creates it real time for you, your primary address. The only thing it won't include in the file name is the 0x, right? That 0x, is there 0x0? No, 0x. It starts off with after the X. So it already predefines your public wallet address there. So in theory, you didn't even need to access it and open the key store file if you didn't want to, right? You just copy this part. And if we were to go put in 0x on Etherscan and copy that in, paste that in, you can see that I just sent a 0.03, 100 quick bucks to it. Transaction, you can see it's coming from my primary hot spare. And voila, we know it works. We were able to store stuff. Now, since this is offline, let's go take a look here. It shouldn't show the balance whatsoever, because you're operating off an offline version of that key store, right? Of this My Ether wallet code, open source code. Enter in that super secret password one more time. Access it. I just wanted to give you a visual, right? So if you are truly operating in an offline environment, I stand corrected. I wonder if that's because this browser is still technically online. We're still streaming. But in most cases, it's not going to load your balance, because if you operate and access these key store files that you create in an offline environment, it will not show the balance for you. But because Brave, my browser, is connected to the web, it's very odd. I'm going to have to further troubleshoot that and figure out why it's showing that balance, because it shouldn't be, in theory. Send me some ETH. Nice try. Nice try. So we should create something called Give Me ETH in the Discord. I don't know. Figure something out like this. Give me ETH. Shucks, it didn't work, did it? And voila. Can't finish the rest of the tutorial. I'm really bummed about that. Thank you, everybody, for bearing with me on this one. We're going to reboot this episode and do a 2.0. I'm very, very upset with myself for not testing this thoroughly beforehand. But hey, that's why we do it live around here, because we learn how to improve. And my camera's all fucked up here too because of all the USB toggling. Could also just be because the camera's just getting tired of fucking running right now. It's like, dude, great job, but do better. So I'm going to do better. No doubt. So without Squirrel Dude, this is the part of the episode where we have a little fun. Let's also preview the next giveaway for the POAPs. So it's going to be for my streamers. It's going to be a physical device. This is not going to be a digital asset. This is going to be a physical device. I ordered just now 4 different video capture devices. One by Elgato, which is like the common one on Amazon. It's a 4K video capture device that plugs into the HDMI port or USB port, and then it has an HDMI female connector that allows you to hook up any 4K camera to it, right? That doesn't normally have its USB streaming capabilities. And then we have 2 different EVGA models, which is a very well-known graphics processing manufacturer. It's GPU manufacturer. If you mine cryptocurrencies, if you've built a GPU rig, chances are you've used EVGA. But if you're really, really heavy with the Bitcoin mining and the Ethereum mining, if I'm not mistaken, Gigabyte are still the top dogs for GPUs as far as efficiency, speed, the heat. Let's run it back here. ETH cent. Nice try. So yeah, we're going to get physical. I'm going to be unboxing those live because I need to use one, right? I want to have different camera angles. I have this Canon that doesn't work with a USB. This thing's starting to piss me off with how it gets chopped up. So I'm moving this to the Black Magic. Chances are that's going to be the one I keep. But there's also the Black Magic, 2 EVGAs, and then the Elgato or Elgato. So that's going to be the next giveaway. It's going to happen sometime in April when I'm back in the States. And that's how these POAPs directly correlate. So start accumulating those POAPs. I will ship worldwide. It doesn't matter where you are. Yeah, without Squirrel Ado, give me 1 second. And before I get to it, how's everyone's day been going? If you haven't dropped a comment already, go ahead and say hello. Say hello so I know you're here, so that when you go and drop something in the Discord POAP channel, you weren't one of those rogue viewers that didn't make a comment, because I will not airdrop you a POAP. That's the rules. You got to engage. You got to ask questions. You at least say hello. Do a little wave, a little peace emoji, what have you. See, earlier on in my streaming days, I would have been so embarrassed right now. Like, so embarrassed. It's not even funny, but it's just another day. It's another mistake. We all make mistakes. We're human. We improve on it. I'm actually happy that this one went down the way it is. And I'm impressed that everyone's still tuning in. Like, you guys are the real OGs. You guys are the real ones. Like, I appreciate you so much. Words cannot even express that appreciation. Yeah. Hey, Alpha Lord himself. If you want to secure assets, send stuff around. I guess gas is criminally low right now. Let's go check the etherscan.io/gas tracker. It is .33. Let's go. And I wasn't showing my screen. All right, Amanda. Thank you for tuning in so much. Appreciate you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And then what I'll do, since I know you were here, I'll go ahead, just DM me real quick so I don't forget. If you want the POAP, I'll shoot you a POAP for today. What's up? What's up? What's up? Yep, I just got your DM. Got you, Amanda. All right, so today's secret word. Dough. Not dough like pizza dough, like dough like Homer dough. Like, because that's how I feel, like dough. But we keep it moving. We keep it moving. Secret phrase is dough. D-O-H. You can go ahead and throw in a little hand palm action, face palm emoji, if you're really paying attention. It doesn't get you anything extra. You know, just adds a little flair to your post. That's all it does. So in about 30 seconds time, that channel is going to be enabled for messages to be sent. Bam, bam, bam. And let's see it. So I want to see the secret phase of Doe in the Discord, bitmonkey.gg/Discord. If you're not already in there, you're slipping. Please do keep in mind that if you didn't comment on this stream, I will not be giving you a POAP. So if you post something with your wallet address, if you post a secret phrase followed by your wallet address, please provide me your full-length wallet address. If you can, POAP channel is open for posts. It'll be open for the next 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going to go take a walk to the store real quick. You know, just woo-saw it because this episode didn't go how I planned, but that's life. You don't always get what you want. It doesn't always go the way you plan. Life fucking lesson. How do we spell it? So D-O-H. D-O-H. Just dough it up. Add a face palm in there if you want. And I don't see it on this this emoji thing right here, but dough followed by, there we go, my man. Paying attention to detail, adding some flair. I'm going to give you the flame emoji. Good shit, Gary. Nope, I don't know what you're putting Po in there for. Po Indiando, right? That was bread of, you know, India, right? That's what they put on the menus in most Indian restaurants here in Portugal. Just go ahead and edit your post. I ain't gonna do it for you. Dope. There we go. Good stuff. I see him rolling. I see him rolling. Love it. Love it. Wriggle wiggle. I know you're at work, so you didn't add the face palm. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah. So without Squirrel Ado, that channel is going to be open for another 30 minutes. Going to go for the walk, come back, disable it, and hopefully the POAP links come in by then. I have the POAP links from last Tuesday. I need to hand out before they expire. I usually put them on a week timeline. So thanks everybody for your patience. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thursday is going to be a fun episode. We're interviewing Amanda Newman, aka Miss Manda Art, at Miss Manda Art on Instagram. She is the founder and creator of the Working Dogs brand, which is also an NFT project. She does these awesome one a day drawings. I cannot wait to have her on the show to share what we've been working on. She's going to be doing a real-time live drawing of some of the assets that are going to be directly correlated and utilized through this new collection that we're launching. Two brands coming together, launching a very, very unique collection for a very, very unique purpose. And I'm excited. Cannot wait. And we're going to kickstart this 2.0 of this episode, if not this coming week when I'm back in the Bay Area in about 2 weeks' time. So thank you, everybody, for your patience. Much love. Thank you for watching. If you found any value at all, please hit that like, subscribe, share it. Although I have a feeling you're not going to share this one at all. It's cool. It's all gravy. Much love. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Until next time. Peace. And we're still connected, huh? Do, 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 do.